Hello, welcome back to Mark's House and Garden. It's May the 1st, 2024. We're well into springtime. It feels like summer is just around the corner. Having said that, only last week we had temperatures down to around 0 degrees. I'm in the Jurassic jungle garden, and this is my exotic Jurassic jungle border, and just to my right over there is my fernery. In this video, I'm going to give you a guided tour of my exotic Jurassic jungle garden border and my fernery. There's a couple of reasons why I'm doing this. I want to share my plant selections with you, but also I want to get some footage for the record now on the 1st of May, so that as the months go by into summer, we can see how it progresses and how it grows. And eventually, by the end of summer, into autumn and winter, when I come to once again destroy this border for the winter protection season, I can do a kind of time-lapse video of it developing. This is the sort of border that springs into life and grows very, very quickly and becomes very lush very quickly. I will just drop a bit of footage in to show you what it looked like late summer last year. But right now, it looks nothing. I'll grab hold of the camera, I'll jump up on the table, and I'll give you some aerial footage of this border, and then I'll come in up close and personal and give you some shots of some of the clues of what's about to happen. We'll also go into the tree fern garden, the fernery. It's already bursting into life, but there's a lot more to happen in there. But there's a couple of points of interest that I want to show you in there, which I'd like to share with you. So let me get hold of the camera, jump up on the table and explain what's going on here. Then we'll move into the fernery. So here I am in my welly bobs on the table, and I'll pan out to the border. And as I said, this is my exotic tropical jungle border. Doesn't look much at the moment. And then as I pan round to the left, we view into the fernery. We'll go in there in a moment and have a closer look at that. But at the moment, all you can see here is effectively bare soil. That's a Tetrapanax just there. All that growth is this season. Now there's a difference between that Tetrapanax there and the one down there. That one is growing from the bottom. That one is growing from the top. So for some reason, I managed to successfully protect the trunk of that Tetrapanax, but unfortunately the trunk of that Tetrapanax died back, but it has grown back from the bottom. And what's interesting about Tetrapanax, if you damage or you cultivate around the roots, it sends out shoots and runners. So I know for a fact that down here somewhere there is a pup from that Tetrapanax. It can be quite invasive. It's gone from there to there. So that's Tetrapanax. Now let me just reposition the camera. Incidentally, that is my garden mirror. A bit controversial. Quite a few people told me I shouldn't be putting mirrors up in the garden because birds can fly into them. I've not had that problem. I've not had a single case of bird attack on my mirror. So the mirror can stay as far as I'm concerned. I'm just going to lock my exposure because it keeps flicking around. So let me just lock the exposure there. Right, okay, sorry about that little interruption. So anyway, if you want to know how I fitted that, I'll put a link to the video on fitting a garden mirror in the description box below this. Down here, underneath this Tetrapanax, we have Canna Musa folia. Now, that has the potential to grow all the way up here. It's a canna which grows very quickly and has lots of lovely foliage, not dissimilar to that banana foliage. It does flower. I made the mistake last year of stating that it doesn't flower, but it does flower. But really, I'm growing it for its foliage. That whole space of wall there, within a couple of months, will be filled with the foliage from that canna. I'm going to jump down off the table and go and show you what's happening at the ground level so that we can see. So if I just come down here, we can see down here already. It's starting to shoot up there, look. There and there and there, and all over here in abundance we have little canna sprouts coming up. Can you see them there at the wall at the back underneath this manure? Incidentally, for the winter, I protect this border by applying a layer of well-rotted manure, which I get from my neighbours. He has a horse manure pile, so I've got free access to manure. So anyway, there's the Canna musifolia. All the border is still under a mulch of around 4 inches of well-rotted manure. Down here is Colocasia Pink China. Down there is Himalayan ginger. That's Crynium Patwellii, which produces a lovely kind of spider-like pink bloom. These are my Musa Basjoo green banana, hardy green banana, hardy Japanese green banana. I managed successfully to protect the trunk, so I've retained the heights. And there's a video on how I did that on my channel, and I'll put the link to protecting the trunks of bananas, link to the video of that in the description box below this. There are more Canna musifolia emerging at the back, up there, coming up. Now that is a Persicaria red dragon. It's a lovely plant. Let me go and show you the leaves. It's got lovely kind of, well, I don't know what, there's a name for this shape of leaf. I can't remember it. It's not coming to my head at the moment, but there's a name for this. But and if you can remember, put it in the description box. That Persicaria red dragon is very easy to propagate. And when I cut it all down last winter, I spread some of the bits on top of this border. And my intention would be that they would rot down, but in actual fact, some of them have taken. And there's a case in point there. Is one of the little Persicarias, and there are more down at the back of the banana and along here. I've actually transplanted some of them to my Jurassic jungle border. So whilst we're down here, tree fern here with some lots of lovely fresh fronds coming up, quite healthy. I did protect that. Again, I'll put the link to tree fern winter protection in the description box below this video. There's another Persicaria at the back, can you see? Right near the pipe there. Hoping for Canna musifolia to shoot up there. In fact, I think that's one coming through. Can you see that there? So, that is Fatsia Japonica. That's an evergreen, so I'll put that there for evergreen structure. Interestingly, that more or less gets full sun. And people say they don't do well in full sun, but that's doubled in size. Underneath here, somewhere, there is a Colocasia esculenta which survived last winter in this border. I'm still waiting for it to show its face. It hasn't appeared yet, but it's down here somewhere. That there is a Foxtail Lily. Got that for 50 pence off a reduced plant shelf in a garden centre. 50 pence, and it's going strong, so we'll have a lovely bloom on that this year. Moving along down there, there's a Trachycarpus fortunii just behind this tree fern. That's getting relocated. This tree fern is also getting relocated, but we'll talk about that another time. So that's the border now. I'm just going to get some panning shots of this border as we speak on the 1st of May, so that I can do one of my time-lapse videos every month this year. Looks like nothing, but I can assure you, give it a couple of months, it will be a jungle. I've just spent some time, by the way, tidying up the edges down here. I've made a gully at the back. I found that when I'd mulched it up, the water was running off and causing the mulch to run off. So I've created a gully there so that when I do water it, the water has to go down into the soil where it's intended for the plants. This mirror is lovely actually, it gives you depth. Gives you extra depth, and again, you'll see me there I am. Gives you extra depth in the garden, makes the space feel bigger, but eventually these plants will grow up around it and it will become very subtle at the back. Now it was surrounded and covered with plants, and that's probably been part of the reason why I've not had any birds flying into it. Right, let's move around. Oh look, my little pan face there, look, this is a green man. That's a green man face. That's like a pan face, and there's another green man. Now what I like about those is, as the foliage grows up, and it does, they appear to peep through the foliage. It's quite spooky. And whilst you can't see them at the moment, I do have some uplights, which I place in this border. You plug them in, and they uplight, those, and in the night time, those look quite spooky. That is a passion flower. And up there, the top of that trellis, there is a community of sparrows nesting. I won't disturb them, but I'll just get a little bit closer. You can see the nest material there. The same is true under here. Before we move into the fernery, let's just have a look at this Tetrapanax, look. That one there, sprouting from the bottom, because I didn't manage to save the trunk. Whereas this one over here, sprouting from the top. These leaves will become 2 to 3 feet across eventually. Outside tap, always useful. Let's go and look in the fernery now, the fernery. So, I'm borrowing these. These are going over by my wildlife pond as the entrance to my Jurassic jungle garden. That's Miscanthus giganteus. It's a bit too big for those pots. We'll have a problem with that later in the year, no doubt. This tree fern is also going by my wildlife pond. Look at these lovely fronds. If you want to watch my video on tree fern care, I'll put a link below this video. Now that did have lots of fronds on it, but we've cut them off because they went brown. They went like that. Can you see that one there? The frost caught them, so I cut them off. I don't like the look of them. Done the same on that one. These are from the Palm Tree Company. That's brilliant. That's from the Palm Tree Company, that one. You order them online and it's sort of sold unseen, but they do have a guarantee that they'll take them back if you have a problem with them. That one there's from Knowbridge Garden Centre. Did a lovely video about Knowbridge. Again, put the link below. You'll be swamped with links below this video. Now let's go into the fern garden. My windy path, my circular patio, videos on the windy path on how I did it, a video on how to lay a patio, link below in the description box below this video. Now let's go and have a look at this. 2 big boulders mark the entrance, and then we have some ferns, lovely evergreen ferns there. That is not an evergreen fern, so that growth has been put up this year. That is a shuttlecock fern, and these are also shuttlecock ferns. It's quite invasive. It's produced an extra sort of 10 pups from itself this year, so I've taken some from over there and put them in my wildlife pond. It kind of grows a runner and then pops up. Be aware and be cautious if you're going to use shuttlecock ferns, because they will grow a metre high. Canna, sorry, not Canna, hosta. I put 2 types of hosta in here, Jurassic Park and Empress Wu. Because they are slug and snail resistant, and they're also quite big ones. I overlooked the fact that this fern here has got beautiful, look at that, isn't that amazing? Isn't nature incredible? When you stop and you look and get in close and look at the detail of the fern there, look. It's like a ground dwelling tree fern. It's got just as much interest. But look, it's got, not only has it got that one uncurling on the end there, all these are uncurling along the edge of the leaf. I could sit and look at that for an hour. You'd be bored to tears. Right, Arum Lily down here. Can you see? The Arum Lily has a lovely white flower that looks beautiful in the evening. Down there is a Heart's Tongue fern, which again is growing up. That's a Cooperi. So that's one of those tree ferns that's not hardy. Look at that Canna there. Sorry, hosta. I keep misnaming my hostas. Look at that. That's one of your Empress Wu hostas there. You can see already the size of the leaf in this year alone. Another Fatsia Japonica, another tree fern, another shuttlecock fern. Now this is my pan statue. We were very fortunate to have been gifted this by some friends who were downsizing. I love it. It makes such a great feature. That piece of land there at the back does not belong to me, it belongs to my neighbour. So I'm going to build a green wall across here, which basically is going to be a trellis with plant pots on it, which will grow down and tumble and create like a waterfall effect. There is another Fatsia down there, can you see? Lots of lovely cannas. I'm going to a point of interest in a minute, which I really do want to tell you about. It's a bit of a warning, really. We'll come to that in a moment. And look under there, it's lovely. This space here, this space at the back of the cottage, is surrounded on 3 sides by walls. You can see there's a wall there, a wall there, wall there, and it's thatched. And thatch doesn't have gutters, so all the rain drops off there, and there, and there, and creates a very damp, humid environment. In the summer, when it's really hot everywhere else in the garden, it's quite lovely in here. It's lovely and cool. Now, that wasn't the point of interest that I was going to tell you about, although it is a point of interest in itself. But what I was going to mention was the fact that if we look down here, can you see this green carpet? It's called Mind Your Own Business. And it's spread just as I wanted it to. I love it. It's like a lawn, a green carpet of lawn. It covers all the soil, but it is invasive. This started off 12 months ago as 10 plants about that size, and you can see what it's done. There's one of those up lights. And you see down there, look, and that's lighting up that face there, so that when I sit in my kitchen in there, I can see a face lit up at night. And there's another one down there lighting up pan. It has a wonderful effect. I'll do a video one day of the nighttime effect. There's another Canna lily there, heart's tongue fern. Getting back to the Mind Your Own Business, be wary, because if you put it in, it will spread. Under the right conditions, it's quite invasive. Look, it's coming through here, and it's spread all the way through there. I love this effect. It's going up the trunk of my tree fern. Again, that's what I want. But if you don't want that, be careful. There's another tree fern with lots of lovely new fronds coming through. Mind your own business. Now, just to prove the point that it is invasive, look at this. It's heading off into the wider garden like wildfire, but it's not wildfire. It's mind your own business. So there we go. That's the tour of the exotic tropical jungle garden and tree fern garden and fernery. Footage captured for posterity, so that we can catch up in about a month's time, 2 months' time, 3 months' time, and do a time lapse. Isn't it wonderful? Now, in the hot, sunny days of summer, I sit in there with my coffee, and it's lovely and cool and humid. Hope that's been of interest. There are other plants in here which I've forgotten to mention, but I don't want to over egg the pudding. And I will see you soon for some more exotic, tropical, Jurassic, jungle, fernery garden adventures. Bye for now.